welcome to our daily news program coming to you from Canal, Algérie. Let's start off with your headlines for today. The President of the Republic grants a presidential pardon for the benefit of 8,985 detainees on the occasion of the Eid al-Fitr feast. The Army General Shingari, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, pays a working and inspection visit to the headquarters of the Republican Guard Command, during which he reiterated the Army's commitment to thwart the enemy's plots targeting Algeria. Ways for a larger use of artificial intelligence are debated during a meeting held by Algerian and foreign experts. And ahead of Eid al-Fitr feast, a variety of Algerian cakes are offered to our female viewers, in particular those fond of the traditional pastry. Good evening. Those were the major headlines. Today's beginning is with the President of the Republic, who signed on Wednesday a presidential decree on pardon measures on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr feast for the benefit of 8,985 detainees and non-detainees who have been definitely sentenced and who have only 12 months or less to be served, and 18 months for the convicted persons aged 65 or more, as well as pregnant women and mothers of children under 3 years of age. Meanwhile, those excluded from this decree are the detained individuals concerned by the application of the provisions of the Ordinance on the Charter for Peace and National Reconciliation, crimes qualified as terrorist acts or treason, espionage, massacre, escape and criminal association, drug and psychotropic trafficking, crimes of corruption, infringement of the legislation and regulation of foreign exchange, the movement of the capital, deliberate squandering of public funds, influence trafficking, awarding of public contracts, and violation of regulations, money laundering, voluntary homicide, parricide, infanticide, intentional assault, and battery resulting in death, illness, or permanent disability, manslaughter, crimes of kidnapping, and indecent assault on minors with or without violence, rape, crimes of kidnapping, child trafficking, as well as crimes of a nature that prevent the verification of the child's identity. In another development, a meeting of the government was held on Wednesday and presided over by the Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman, during which the following points were examined. The government first examined a new draft bill relating to the protection and preservation of state lands presented by the Justice Minister. This draft has been enriched in accordance with the instructions of the President of the Republic. The Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research presented a communication on the project of digitization of the sector. For his part, the Minister of Trade and the Finance Minister made a joint presentation on the reorganization of a set of customs provisions. At the end of the meeting, the government listened to the Minister of Transport, who presented a communication on the problem of removing sand from railroads. In a different context and as part of his inspection visits to the various components of the People's National Army, Army General Shingari, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, paid on Wednesday a working and inspection visit to headquarters of the Republican Guard Command in Eskilou, Tazasmor.
After the welcoming ceremony, Army General, accompanied by the General of the Army, bin Ali, Commander of the Republican Guard, observed a minute of silence in memory of the martyr Mohammed Belouzdad, whose name is borne by the headquarters, and laid a wreath of flowers in front of his commemorative stele before reciting the Fatiha, or the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, in his memory and that of the valiant Shuhada. At the beginning, the Army General held a meeting with the executives and the personnel of the Republican Guard Command, where he delivered an orientation speech broadcasted to all units of his command via video conference.
لقد أكدت في أكثر من مناسبة على أن توطين الأمن وترسيخ موجبات السلم.
In this regard, the Chief of Staff of the People's National Army stressed that it is the duty and the challenge of every citizen loyal to Algeria to engage all efforts and all strength necessary for the establishment of security and consolidation of the factors of peace and stability in our beloved country, and to meet the requirements of its development and progress to enable it to occupy the place it deserves in the concert of nations. He also underlined that in order to achieve these noble objectives, we are committed with the People's National Army, worthy heir of the National Liberation Army, under the command of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, alongside the faithful children of our homeland, and in accordance with the constitutional missions assigned to honor the oath of the valiant martyrs and war veterans, and to work tirelessly and with determination to defeat the maneuvers and machinations of the enemies of Algeria, hostile as they are to its unity and its social, cultural and civilizational cohesion.
لم يعودوا يتحملوا صلابة وقوة وحدته وتمسكه الاجتماعي والثقافي والحضاري.
Then the Army General followed the interventions of the Republican Guard Command personnel, who on this occasion reiterated their unwavering loyalty to their homeland, Algeria. At the same time, he saluted the sustained efforts made at all levels before giving a set of general guidelines to the audience.
شكرا لك بارك الله فيك.
At the end, the Army General followed up with a comprehensive presentation by the Chief of Staff of the Republican Guard, which focused mainly on the various areas of activities related to the progress of the development plan of this command.
In another story, the Speaker of the National People's Assembly, Ibrahim Boughali, received the head of the Algerian Committee for Solidarity with the Sahrawi people, Saeed Ayashi. Boughali reiterated the MP's readiness to back this fair cause and find a settlement likely to ensure self-determination for the Sahrawi people. And a meeting was held on Wednesday between Algerian and foreign university experts in artificial intelligence. This meeting debated this technological and revolutionary tool and the vast fields for its use. Najah Tayyar reports.
With the increase in investments around the world, the artificial intelligence has become a very crucial mean for companies. In the field of the scientific research, it is a real boon for students that allows them to explore unexpected possibilities and innovations. This project is about a tool that detects issues in different domains, such as facial recognition, where it can detect frauds, also in the autonomous cars, where it can detect distant obstacles. I'm here to present a small lab project that's called fire detection. It is a small camera that detects flames in real life. It will be very useful to prevent forest fires and also in houses. This camera can be put in the kitchens for the detection of flames in case of forgetting gas on. The National Vision of 2020-2023, intended to generalize the artificial intelligence use, will allow the emergence of innovative, motivating climate for studies and invest to encourage initiatives and increase productivity. We have around 400 students. In 2 years, they start studying the theoretical artificial intelligence, where they develop algorithms, methods, and tools to help those who need to involve artificial intelligence in various fields. Numerous projects demonstrate the vast fields that the artificial intelligence opens to students, encourages them to go beyond the limits of technology and thus meeting the challenges that are still insurmountable.
As part of the continuous efforts to fight against terrorism, combined detachments of the National People's Army arrested 3 elements supporting terrorist groups in separate operations across the national territory. And in the context of the fight against organized crime and the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the National People's Army, in coordination with the various security services, arrested during several operations carried out throughout the military regions 36 drug traffickers and thwarted thwarted attempts to introduce quantities of drugs from the borders with Morocco amounting to 9 quintals and 60 kilograms of processed keef, and seized more than 97,000 psychotropic tablets. In Tamarasset, Burj Baji Mukhtar, Ingazam, Tindouf and Janet, detachments of the National People's Army intercepted 50 individuals and seized 38 vehicles, 67 generators, 56 jackhammers, as well as quantities of explosives, detonation tools and equipment used in illegal gold mining operations, while 32 other individuals were arrested and 8 shotguns, 233 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation were seized in separate operations. On the other hand, the border guards, in coordination with the services of the National Gendarmerie, thwarted attempts to smuggle large quantities of fuel amounting to more than 67,000 liters in Burj Baji Mukhtar, Suqaras, Al-Tarf and Tibisa provinces, while 191 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested throughout the national territory. And with Eid al-Fitr approaching, the Algerian consulates are all mobilized to facilitate all kinds of administrative procedures for the Algerians settled abroad, as it is the case across the French territory. Story by Afaf Belhouchat, taken up by Melissa Gabash.
Here at the Algerian embassy in Bobigny, where nearly 300,000 nationals are registered. At their service, a number of agents with 8 services to provide. The consulate receives around 800 persons per day.
We are well welcomed, informed and oriented. I appreciate the consul who, for his part, offers his services to everyone. I think everyone here, they truly facilitate the tasks for us.
In the French cities of Bordeaux and Marseille, the same satisfaction is noticed in the Algerian consulate.
We feel like we are in our country. I'm very happy with the service. I'm very satisfied with the services here. I'm proud to be an Algerian.
An improvement in the quality of services was made thanks to the generalization of online services, as it is the case here in Nantes.
We can now log in the network, which is such a good thing, especially for our generation.
In Lyon, the new generation welcomed this generalization and expressed its satisfaction with the services provided.
The welcoming was very professional. The staff is very nice. Everything went well and smooth. We can tell that a development was made to the system. I haven't been here since 2015, and I can see that a lot has changed and improved due to the new means provided to help both the staff and nationals.
In the General Consulate, about 200,000 Algerians are registered.
Since the beginning of the year 2023, we are witnessing a large number of demands to renew passports. Nearly 30,000 passports are about to expire, which explains the number of the demands.
And during this period, the Algerian consulates in France all decided to facilitate the procedures for nationals by granting them the best welcome.
Possessions have been mobilized even more during the month of Ramadan, so that our nationals could benefit from all our services following the orientations of the President of the Republic. On this occasion, I would like to hail the consulate's corps, who did its best to respond to the needs of our community.
Our nationals in Saint-Étienne were also pleased by the results achieved by our consulate.
Our consulate is worthy of a real diplomatic presentation. We are very proud. I thank the entire staff for their professionalism.
The efforts deployed by the Algerian consulate aim at facilitating the procedures of Algerians, especially with the Eid al-Fitr feast at the doorstep.
After a month of fasting, the Algerian women are getting ready to welcome Eid al-Fitr feast by making the most delicious pastries or buying them for the renowned shops, but the common purpose is to maintain this typically authentic Algerian tradition. Story by Melissa Gabash.
Only a few days separates us from the Eid al-Fitr feast, and just like many, Algerian women are getting ready to welcome this Eid with the best sweets. For some, shopping for the ingredients, as we can see, enjoy making them by themselves, hoping one day to transmit this tradition to younger generations.
I always find the time to make sweets by myself. Despite me working, I prefer making traditional sweets like حلوة الطابع and شارك مسكر. We are used to baking our own pastry. It sets a special atmosphere in the house. It is very important for me to teach my daughter what I've learned from my mother.
While others who don't find the time to make sweets, they buy them, as it is the case for Muna.
I buy my pastry from professional people. It's pretty and presentable. I don't have time to bake, which is why I prefer buying them.
At the end, whether the sweets were baked or bought, the most important thing is the joyful atmosphere and being surrounded by family on the day of Al-Eid around tables decorated with the different types and flavored sweets.
And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.